What's up, everybody? Glad to have you back for another round of Real Deal Celtics talk. And let me tell you, even though the offseason has started to quiet down a little bit, things are far from over. Yeah, some dominoes have already fallen, and the major waves of free agency might feel like they've calmed. But there's still a lot going on beneath the surface, especially when it comes to the Boston Celtics. And listen, what we're going to get into today, it's not going to be pretty. You might want to grab some ginger ale, maybe even some Pepto, because we're diving into a name that has Celtics fans split like the Red Sea. Ben Simmons, yeah. That Ben Simmons. Now look, before you shut this down or throw your phone across the room, hear me out. This isn't me trying to sell you on Simmons as some missing puzzle piece, or acting like this is 2019 again and we're still pretending he's the next LeBron. That ship sailed a long time ago, but here's the deal, there's legit reporting out there saying that Simmons has drawn some interest from Boston since free agency began. Yes, that's real. That's not clickbait, not a troll job. It's actual league chatter. And not just from Boston either. Apparently New York and Sacramento have also been sniffing around. So let's break this down, because honestly, this rumor doesn't just fail to move the needle for me, it moves it in the wrong direction. It's like the basketball version of a reverse engine. Simmons to Boston. That's not the spark. That's the short circuit. And I want to be clear, I'm not anti-Ben Simmons as a human being. I think there's a tragic story here. A guy who came into the league with crazy potential. Someone who legitimately looked like a perennial All-NBA talent, elite defensive upside, and one of the most unique physical profiles we've seen in a guard-forward hybrid. And then, boom, something just snapped. Call it mental, physical, emotional, it all spiraled. The back injuries, the confidence issues, the complete disappearance of a jump shot, and really any desire to be aggressive offensively. It's been a collapse in slow motion, and I genuinely root for the guy to get another shot at redemption. Just not in Boston. The Celtics are not a rehab clinic for broken stars. They're trying to chase titles. We're talking about a team with championship pedigree, one that's still got a core capable of making deep playoff runs. And yes, injuries last season derailed everything in a brutal way. But that doesn't mean you go all in on a high-risk, low-upside project that could derail the vibes completely. Because if we've learned anything over the past few years, it's this: vibes matter, chemistry matters, fit matters, and Ben Simmons, right now, doesn't feel like a fit at all. Let's look at what he actually did last season. And I mean really look. According to the numbers, he played in 51 games. 51, which honestly surprised the hell out of me because it felt like he was out most of the year. But somehow, he was out there for over 50 games and averaged around 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Not terrible on paper, right? But it's the context that kills you. He didn't take a single three-point shot. Not one, zero, zilch, in today's NBA, where even your backup center is expected to stretch the floor. Simmons remains an offensive black hole from the perimeter. You think Joe Mazzulla, who was out here letting Xavier Tillman fire from the corners in the freaking finals, is gonna tolerate that? Not a chance. Joe wants space. Joe wants pace. Joe wants threats at every position. What Simmons brings, even at his peak, doesn't mesh with that identity. And again, we're not talking about peak Simmons. We're talking about a player who hasn't averaged over 7 points per game since 2021. That's not a slump, that's a collapse. And sure, if you're the ultimate optimist, if you live in the gym, you eat clean, meditate, and believe in redemption arcs like it's a Hollywood script, maybe you can squint and see some upside here. Maybe you talk yourself into Simmons being a defensive specialist off the bench who facilitates and takes the pressure off your primary ball handlers. But this isn't NBA decay. This is Boston. And this fan base, they don't have patience for question marks. They don't want to babysit a former star who might be able to give you 20 good minutes once every 4 nights if the moon is full and his back isn't stiff. Look, this team just won a championship 2 seasons ago. And yeah, last year ended ugly, with Tatum going down and everything falling apart. But that core, Jalen, White, KP, Drew, all those guys are still here. There's still enough there to make another run. So what's the priority? Keeping the energy in the room right, keeping the hunger alive, making sure when Tatum gets back, the foundation isn't cracked. Because if you bring in Simmons and things go south early, guess who becomes the lightning rod? Not your 7th man, not your two-way player. No, it's going to be Simmons. Even if he's making the veteran minimum, even if he's the 12th guy off the bench, all that noise, all that chaos, all that media attention, it's going to point right at him. And that's the kind of thing that tears teams apart. You don't want your locker room walking on eggshells. You don't want players feeling like they have to protect a guy who can't deliver on the court. That's how you end up with fractures, resentment, and guys checking out mentally before the All-Star break. And when Tatum finally returns, what's he walking back into? A mess, a group that's burnt out, beat down, and wondering why the front office gambled on a ghost instead of doubling down on what was already working. That's why. If it's me, I'd rather give that roster spot to someone like Torrey Craig. Seriously. Craig's still unsigned and you know exactly what you're getting with him. Tough defense, corner threes, no drama. The dude fits in any system, has existing chemistry with a few guys on the team. And most importantly, he's not going to suck the oxygen out of the room if things don't go perfectly sometimes. It's not about swinging for the fences. It's about hitting singles that keep your lineup moving. And Simmons? That's a swing where you might break the bat and end up striking out backwards. You want more bodies. You want more depth. Cool. Bring in a vet like Craig. Bring in someone who won't cause whiplash in the locker room, because once the Celtics get healthy, once the core is back in place, you want that hunger to still be there. You want that edge. That's what makes a championship team repeat. That's what separates contenders from pretenders. And while we're on the subject of wild off-season ideas, because let's be real, that's what July NBA talk is all about. Another name that popped up is Russell Westbrook. Yep. Russ, the Brody. Another former All-Star, another veteran with a mountain of narratives behind him. So the question becomes, if Simmons is too much of a gamble, is Westbrook any better? Honestly, it depends on what you're looking for. Russ is what he is at this point. He's a known quantity. You know what you're getting, night in and night out. A guy who's going to go full speed, make 10 hustle plays a game, rack up his usual 12 to 14 points, maybe 5 rebounds and 6 assists. But you're also going to get the turnovers, the defensive lapses, the occasional pull-up three with 22 seconds on the shot clock. That makes you want to walk into the ocean. But with Russ, at least the chaos comes with effort. With Simmons, the question is whether he'll even look at the rim. So if it's about energy and identity, maybe you could talk yourself into Westbrook being a low-cost spark plug off the bench. Someone who gives your second unit some juice, pushes the pace, and leads by example with his work ethic. But again, you've got to think about fit, vibes, attention. If the Celtics stumble, is Russ the guy you want answering 10 questions from the media every night? Is he the kind of guy who fits in with Joe's system? Or does he become a lightning rod the second things get weird? That's the stuff Boston has to think about now, because this isn't just about talent. This is about building the right ecosystem. A place where your young guys grow, your veterans lead, and your stars don't have to carry emotional baggage for guys who've lost their way. And let's not forget, this offseason also brought in some new blood upstairs. The Celtics added Drew Nicholas to their front office as the new executive director of player personnel. You may not know the name, but this is a sneaky, solid hire. Nicholas brings in experience from the Brooklyn Nets, and before that, he was helping build that Denver Nuggets squad that turned into a championship contender. He's got a sharp scouting eye, a strong sense of international talent, and he understands roster construction. And when you look at how the Celtics drafted this past year, adding guys like Amari Williams and Hugo Gonzalez, that international background could prove to be huge. It's clear this team isn't just thinking about today, they're building something sustainable. So, when you talk about adding names like Simmons or Westbrook, it's got to align with that vision, not just the highlight reels or the past accolades, but the direction this team is heading. And honestly, right now, I'd rather spend the vet minimum on a glue guy than on a fixer-upper. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Whispers are swirling around the NBA world as a tantalizing rumor gains momentum. Could Demar Derozan be the latest addition to the Boston Celtics? While no official announcement has been made yet, sources close to the situation hint that the star shooting guard may have already signed a contract with the storied franchise, igniting a firestorm of speculation among fans and analysts alike. Derozan, known for his smooth mid-range game and clutch scoring ability, would bring a new dynamic to Boston's roster. The Celtics, who have long been searching for a reliable offensive weapon to complement their core, might see Derozan as the perfect fit to elevate their chances in the fiercely competitive Eastern Conference. The thought of pairing Derozan's veteran savvy with the youth and energy of players like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown has fans buzzing with excitement. Reports suggest the deal could be finalized imminently, though the team remains tight-lipped, fueling even more intrigue if true. DeRozan's arrival would mark a significant shift in the Celtics' strategy, potentially signaling a more aggressive push toward championship contention. His experience in high-pressure playoff scenarios and consistent scoring output would be invaluable for a team eager to break through the postseason ceiling. Moreover, DeRozan's leadership qualities and ability to thrive under pressure would align perfectly with Boston's culture, which prizes toughness and resilience. The Celtics front office, known for making bold moves, may have found in DeRozan the missing piece to a championship puzzle that has eluded them for nearly a decade. Yet, as with all rumors in the NBA, nothing is set in stone until official confirmation arrives. Some insiders caution that negotiations are still ongoing, and the deal could fall apart at the last moment. But if Boston indeed secures DeRozan's signature, it would be one of the most intriguing acquisitions of the offseason, reshaping the balance of power in the East. For now, Celtics fans and basketball enthusiasts worldwide can only watch closely, speculate wildly, and hope this whisper deal turns into reality. Could DeRozan's green jersey be the next chapter in his storied career? The buzz is real, and the basketball world waits with bated breath. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.